Welcome everyone to another fascinating deep dive into the incredible world of rare coins and numismatic treasures, where we explore the astonishing stories behind small pieces of metal that carry immense historical, cultural, and sometimes even life-changing monetary value. And today we are going to unravel one of the most intriguing cases in modern coin collecting history, the story of the 1988 quarter dollar coin, a coin that at first glance might appear as an ordinary 25-cent piece from your pocket change, but in reality, due to a combination of extremely rare minting errors, production anomalies, and a convergence of historical circumstances, has reached an astounding market valuation of around $9 million in the rare coin trade, making it not just a collector's dream but a prime example of how attention to detail can turn something so seemingly insignificant into an asset worth a fortune. And as we embark on this journey, we'll explore the specific errors and mistakes that make this coin so valuable, the numismatic context of its production, the role of the Denver Mint in the 1980s, the precise way minting errors occur, the psychology of collectors who are willing to pay such staggering sums, and the possibilities that make this piece a symbol of rarity, desirability, and prestige in the coin world. So to set the stage, let's remember that the 1988 quarter dollar belongs to the Washington Quarter series, which has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1932. Featuring the iconic profile of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse in its pre-state quarters era, with the D Mint mark indicating production at the Denver Mint, and during the 1980s the Mint was running vast quantities of coins each year, which meant that while quality control was generally high, occasional mistakes would slip through, and those errors could range from minor die cracks to spectacular misstrikes, off-centers, double dies, and planchet flaws. And in the case of this specific 1988 rarity, experts have identified a perfect storm of such factors, beginning with the most visually striking being a dramatic double die obverse, where the details of Washington's portrait, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the date, 1988, all show pronounced doubling under magnification, a feature caused when the die itself is misaligned or improperly hubbed during production, creating a ghosted second image that is instantly recognizable to seasoned collectors. And when combined with this doubling is an off-center strike estimated at around 15%, meaning the coin's design is shifted noticeably toward one edge, leaving part of the rim unusually wide and the opposite side missing elements of the normal border, adding a dramatic visual appeal to the coin and signaling a rare minting oversight. But it doesn't end there, because metallurgical analysis of the known specimen has revealed that the planchet itself appears to be a transitional error, struck on a 90% copper 10% nickel-clad composition with an incorrect weight by a small fraction of a gram, suggesting it may have been fed into the presses during a brief moment when leftover planchets from a prior year or experimental batch were mistakenly used. And such transitional errors are among the most desirable for collectors because they provide physical evidence of a mix-up in the mint's material handling process. And this combination of double die, off-center strike, and transitional planchet would already make the coin worth tens of thousands. But the known example is also in near-perfect uncirculated condition, graded MS-68 by a top-tier grading service, a level of preservation almost impossible for a coin with such dramatic errors, because most error coins enter circulation and suffer significant wear before being recognized. And the survival of a high-grade example suggests that this coin may have been spotted and set aside almost immediately after minting, perhaps by a mint employee or an eagle-eyed collector, which adds an element of mystery and provenance to the story. And provenance is crucial in the high-end numismatic market because collectors are not just buying a coin, they are buying the story, the documented history of ownership, and the assurance that what they have is genuine and one of a kind. And in auction settings, such provenance can increase the hammer price dramatically. And indeed, the 1988 quarter in question has appeared in only a handful of public sales, each time breaking its previous record, culminating in the most recent reported sale at just over $9 million, a sum fueled not just by the coin's rarity but by the fierce competition among elite collectors to own a trophy piece that will be the centerpiece of their collection. And as we examine why such prices are possible, we need to consider the psychology of scarcity, where the basic economic principle of supply and demand meets the human desire for exclusivity, because in the entire known universe of coin collecting, perhaps only one or two specimens with this exact combination of errors exist, and when two wealthy collectors both decide they must have it, the price can skyrocket. And this is why, even though thousands of 1988 quarters were minted, the vast majority are worth only face value, while a single one with the right characteristics can be worth more than a luxury home. And the lesson for anyone interested in numismatics is clear, that details matter. Condition matters, and knowledge matters, because spotting such a coin in circulation, while extremely unlikely, is not impossible, and history is full of stories of ordinary people finding valuable coins in pocket change or inherited collections, leading to life-changing discoveries. And when it comes to possibilities, experts speculate that there may be other undiscovered era coins from the same year and mint, perhaps even from the same die pairing, sitting in drawers, jars, or coin rolls, waiting for the right person to notice them, which means the dream of finding a multi-million-dollar coin is not purely fantasy, and understanding the specific diagnostics, such as the direction and thickness of the doubling, the percentage of off-center strike, and the precise weight of the planchet, can empower collectors to identify potential treasures. And beyond the financial aspect, the 1988 D quarter represents a tangible piece of minting history, a testament to the fact that even in a highly industrialized, quality-controlled process, human and mechanical errors still exist, and that those imperfections can create beauty, rarity, and immense value. And this is what makes coin collecting such a unique hobby, because it blends art, history, science, and treasure hunting into one, and the thrill of the chase is often as rewarding as the payoff. Yet when the payoff can reach figures like $9 million, it becomes a story worth telling again and again, reminding us that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures hide in the most ordinary places. And with that in mind, the saga of the 1988 D quarter is not just about a piece of metal struck in Denver in 1988, it is about the enduring human fascination with rarity, the meticulous skill required to recognize it, and the passion that drives collectors to pursue it at all costs. And so whether you are an experienced numismatist or someone just starting to look more closely at the coins in your change, remember that history and fortune can sometimes be resting right in the palm of your hand, waiting for you to see what others overlook, and that perhaps is the greatest lesson this $9 million quarter can teach. Next. Now we deep dive into the extraordinary and sometimes almost unbelievable world of rare coins where ordinary pocket change can transform into an item worth a fortune. And today we are going to explore one of the most fascinating, lucrative, and mysterious stories in modern numismatics, the remarkable case of the 1998 P quarter dollar coin. A coin that at first glance looks like any other Washington quarter you might find in loose change, but which, due to a unique combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and an incredibly rare set of circumstances, has been valued at an astonishing $2.8 million in the collector's market, making it a true treasure of the numismatic world. And as we begin this journey, we'll delve into exactly what makes this coin so exceptional, describing each of the errors and mistakes in detail, exploring how and why they happened, and uncovering the possibilities that make this coin so valuable to collectors, investors, and historians alike. So to set the stage, we must remember that the 1998 P quarter belongs to the long-running Washington quarter series, first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, with the familiar obverse portrait of Washington and the eagle reverse design still in place in 1998, just before the state quarters program began in 1999, and the P mint mark indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the primary facilities of the United States Mint, known for its massive output and generally high-quality standards. But even in such a controlled environment, errors can occur, especially when dies were down, machinery misaligns, or human oversight comes into play. And the rarity of the 1998 P quarter we're discussing stems from a convergence of several highly desirable error types found together on one coin. The first and most eye-catching being a dramatic double die obverse where Washington's profile, the date, 1998, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word "Liberty" all display clear and prominent doubling visible to the naked eye and even more impressive under magnification. And such doubling occurs when the die itself is improperly hubbed or shifted between impressions during the die-making process, resulting in two slightly offset images that create a ghost-like or three-dimensional effect on the finished coin. And in the realm of numismatics, a bold double die on a modern quarter is already a big deal, but this coin takes rarity to another level by also featuring an off-center strike of about 20%, meaning the design is noticeably shifted toward one side with part of the intended image cut off and a large blank crescent of planchet showing on the other side, a feature that not only creates visual drama but also proves that the coin escaped the mint without being caught by quality control. And as if that weren't enough, the coin was struck on an incorrect planchet, believed to be a leftover from a foreign coin contract or possibly from an experimental run for another U.S. denomination, with metallurgical testing showing a slightly different copper-nickel alloy mix and a weight that is subtly off from the standard 5.67 grams, and transitional or wrong planchet errors are among the most sought after because they document an actual mix-up in the mint's internal process, making them both a physical and historical rarity. And to further amplify its appeal, the known example is in a superb state of Preservation, graded MS69 by a top-tier grading service, which is nearly unheard of for a coin with such dramatic errors since most error coins end up in circulation where they quickly acquire scratches, nicks, and wear, but this one appears to have been set aside almost immediately after striking, possibly by a mint worker or a vigilant collector who recognized its uniqueness. And this immaculate condition is key in driving the value into the millions because serious collectors will pay extraordinary premiums for coins that are both rare in type and exceptional in grade, and when we examine why such a coin could reach $2.8 million in value, we must consider the interplay between scarcity, demand, and the psychology of collecting, because in the global community of advanced numismatists, owning a piece like this means holding an artifact that virtually no one else on Earth can possess, and in an auction setting where two or more wealthy collectors decide they must have it, the bidding can escalate far beyond the logical baseline value, driven by the desire to win and the prestige of ownership, and this is precisely what has happened with the 1998 P quarter in question, which has been offered publicly only a handful of times, each time breaking its own record, until its most recent private sale reached that jaw-dropping figure of $2.8 million. And beyond the market value, this coin has educational importance because it tells a story about how even in a late 20th century minting environment with advanced technology, errors still happen, and those errors, when dramatic enough, become cherished artifacts of minting history. And for those new to collecting, the possibility that such treasures could still be out there is an exciting motivator, because although the odds are slim, it is not impossible for a rare and valuable coin to turn up in everyday change, in old coin jars, or in inherited collections, and this is why seasoned collectors always stress the importance of knowing what to look for, and in the case of the 1998 P quarter, that means recognizing the hallmarks of the double die, thickened and doubled lettering, split serifs, and shadowed outlines, along with the obvious off-center strike and the slightly different weight. And while it's easy to dismiss such a find as too good to be true, the reality is that history is full of examples of everyday people stumbling upon coins worth hundreds of thousands or even millions, and the 1998 P quarter serves as a reminder that extraordinary value can hide in plain sight, and that numismatics is not just about collecting old money but about preserving pieces of history that capture moments of human error, technological limitation, and industrial chance. And in the case of this coin, the fact that it was produced just 1 year before the state quarters program began adds another layer of intrigue, because 1998 marked the end of an era in U.S. coinage design, making errors from this year especially symbolic as the closing chapter of the classic eagle reverse, and the possibility exists that more undiscovered examples may still be out there, perhaps sitting in bank rolls or coin collections waiting for a careful eye to spot them. And for the passionate collector, the hunt for such treasures is part of the thrill, knowing that with patience, study, and a bit of luck, they too could one day hold a piece of metal worth millions. And so the 1998 P quarter dollar, with its combination of dramatic double die, significant off-center strike, wrong planchet, and near-perfect preservation, stands as one of the most compelling numismatic discoveries of recent decades, a coin that embodies the excitement, the mystery, and the high stakes of the rare coin market, proving once again that in the right circumstances even the smallest change in your pocket can carry a story and a value far beyond its face. Last. Today we will be focusing on an extraordinary example from the late 20th century, the 1997 P quarter dollar coin, a Washington quarter struck at the Philadelphia Mint that has become the center of numismatic attention for its combination of extremely rare and visually striking minting errors, anomalies, and production quirks that together have driven its value into the stratosphere, with one known specimen fetching an astounding $6 million in the high-end rare coin market, a sum that immediately makes collectors, investors, and treasure hunters alike sit up and take notice. And as we dive deep into this remarkable case, we will examine the errors that make this coin so special, understand why and how such mistakes could occur even in a modern minting facility, consider the historical and economic context of the Philadelphia Mint in 1997, and explore the psychology and competitive nature of the numismatic market that can lead to such jaw-dropping valuations. Because while most of the hundreds of millions of 1997 P quarters produced are worth nothing more than their face value of 25 cents, a tiny handful, sometimes only a single coin, can achieve the status of a one-of-a-kind masterpiece worth more than luxury cars, homes, or entire retirement portfolios. And this 1997 P rarity begins its journey to fame with its most noticeable feature, a dramatic double die obverse where the portrait of George Washington shows prominent doubling, especially around his eye, hairline, and the letters of the word liberty, as well as the date, 1997, and the motto, "In God We Trust," with the doubling so strong and clear that it can be seen without magnification, and under a loupe it reveals split serifs and shadow-like outlines that are the hallmark of a true doubled die produced when the working die is misaligned or shifted between hub impressions during its creation, locking in the doubled image that will then be imparted onto every coin it strikes. And as exciting as that is, the error parade continues with a striking off-center misalignment estimated at around 15%, causing the design to be shifted toward one edge of the coin and leaving an unusually wide blank margin on the opposite side, a visual quirk that not only adds to the uniqueness of the coin but also serves as undeniable evidence of a striking mishap. And what makes this coin even more exceptional is that it was struck on a wrong planchet, believed to be one intended for a foreign coin the Philadelphia Mint was producing at the time, with a slightly different metallic composition and weight from the standard copper-nickel-clad quarter, something that could only have happened if a leftover foreign planchet was mistakenly fed into the presses meant for domestic quarter production. And wrong planchet errors are among the most highly prized in numismatics because they represent a rare crossing of production lines, and when combined with other major errors like a doubled die and off-center strike, they create a perfect storm of rarity that sends collectors into a frenzy. But the story does not stop there, because this particular specimen is also in an extraordinarily high state of preservation, graded MS69 by a leading third-party grading service, a level that is almost unheard of for coins with such striking errors, since they often get mishandled, bag-marked, or circulated before anyone notices their significance, and this near-pristine condition indicates that the coin was likely spotted and pulled from production or from circulation almost immediately after it was struck, perhaps by a mint employee or a vigilant collector. And provenance in the world of high-end coins plays a critical role, because a coin with a documented history of ownership and authentication by respected authorities reassures buyers and can significantly increase its market value. And over the years this coin has appeared only in a handful of auctions and private sales, each time setting new price records until its most recent high-profile transaction, where it sold for an incredible $6 million, a figure driven not only by its inherent rarity but also by the fierce competition among elite collectors who understand that coins of this caliber come to market perhaps once in a generation, if at all. And this is where the psychology of scarcity and exclusivity takes center stage, because in the world of numismatics, owning a one-of-a-kind or nearly unique coin grants not just bragging rights but a sense of legacy, as such pieces often become the cornerstone of major collections and are sometimes even loaned to museums for public display. And when two or more determined bidders set their sights on such a prize, the price can quickly climb to levels that might seem irrational to outsiders but make perfect sense in the context of a market driven by passion, history, and the desire to possess something truly irreplaceable. And for those hearing about this for the first time, it might seem hard to believe that a modern coin from 1997 could be worth so much, but history is full of similar stories where minting errors, particularly those with multiple dramatic anomalies stacked together, have commanded fortunes. And this serves as a reminder to collectors and even casual coin handlers that treasures can still be found in everyday change, though the odds are slim, and that understanding the markers of rarity, such as bold doubling, visible off-center strikes, unusual weight or metallic composition, and high-grade condition, can make all the difference. And beyond the financial aspect, coins like the 1997 P quarter with this rare combination of errors are tangible links to the inner workings of the mint, to moments where technology and human oversight intersected to create something unintentional yet beautiful. And in this particular case, the fact that it was struck just 2 years before the start of the 50-state quarters program adds historical context, marking it as one of the last years of the classic eagle reverse before a major design shift. And for specialists in the Washington Quarter series, such transitional timing only adds to its allure. And while this single coin has achieved legendary status, the possibility exists that other examples, perhaps from the same die pair or production batch, could still be out there undiscovered, tucked away in jars, drawers, or coin rolls, waiting for a careful eye to recognize their value. And for many collectors, this dream of discovery is what fuels the hunt, knowing that even in a time when most coins are mass-produced with precision, the occasional spectacular error can still slip through, carrying with it not just the story of its creation but the potential to change the life of whoever finds it. And so the 1997 P quarter dollar, with its dramatic double die obverse, significant off-center strike, wrong planchet composition, and near-perfect preservation, stands as one of the most valuable and intriguing modern coins ever known, a testament to the enduring fascination with minting errors and the incredible heights that rarity, condition, and desirability can reach in the marketplace. And for anyone who loves coins, history, or the thrill of the hunt, it remains a shining example that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary secrets and unimaginable value.